Republican Senator Rand Paul is calling on former CIA Director John Brennan to testify before Congress after it was revealed he insisted the fake Steele dossier be included in the intelligence report. Paul also says it's time for Democrats to move on and start getting things done for the American people. One America's John Hines caught up with Senator Paul and has this report from Capitol Hill.
Senator, I wanted to ask you, I understand that you may understand from a high-level source that Mr. Brennan may have had something to do with this dossier that this whole Mueller report was based on. Could you talk about that?
You know, I got information today that said that, remember, the dossier was floating around. A lot of media organizations were refusing to report on it because it wasn't verified. They said, we're not even going to report on this because it's so scandalous and not verified. Well, it wasn't getting any traction. And so the way it finally got traction is that someone decided to attach it to an intelligence report for President Obama and for President Trump. It was in the transition period time, January of 2017. And so when they did that, it made it all of a sudden an acceptable news story because it was now attached to an intelligence report. And the source that I have informed me that it was John Brennan that was arguing and really pushing to get this dossier, which most of us consider to be a fake dossier, to get it attached to an intelligence report. And it's funny how it became newsworthy. See, it went around for months and months and nobody would report it. Also, how does it turn up in John McCain's hands and then back in the hands of the FBI? So the FBI has a dossier, then all of a sudden the British have it, some British spy has it, who gives it to John McCain, who gives it back to the FBI. So it's funny how something that didn't have credibility got credibility by people in the government leaking it to other people who were then giving it back to government to give it credibility. And then you had maybe advocates, we don't know, but I think we ought to have John Brennan under oath. Maybe we should subpoena him and ask him, were you advocating and why were you advocating for this that most other people thought was unverified to be part of an official intelligence report to the president?
So you think potentially John Brennan should come back and appear before Congress, presumably in the Senate, and talk about this a little bit?
Yeah, we're working on a letter to President Trump asking him to declassify some of this material. I'm going to be talking with Senator Graham about whether or not the Judiciary Committee is going to look into this. But yes, we should know how this happened so it doesn't happen again. When President Trump came to speak to our lunch, to our Republican caucus lunch this week, he said he thinks this shouldn't happen to any president, Republican or Democrat again, that the apparatus of government is misused to gin up an investigation, and then we spend 2 years, you know, of publicity and consuming all the news channels, and it's difficult for a country to continue to go ahead. It also polarizes the country. Republicans and Democrats can't come together in Congress very well, and so maybe it's not a good idea to really let people in government sort of gin up an investigation when there really wasn't any there.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.